Hello, men. And this is Jim Montano coming to you live from sunny Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to a taster of Lion's Den, the mastermind group. I'm very pleased to announce that after months of planning, we now have a program that I am certain will benefit you, and I hope you'll like it as well. Um, we won't be talking about our Ukrainian ladies, our wonderful Ukrainian ladies. The reason for that basically is that Lion's Den is for men sharpening men. However, we do have, Match Guarantee has available Ukraine Dating Live, and I'm going to run a little video so you can see what that is.
Our channel is the world's first of its kind, providing free live streaming every single day for you. 7 days a week with the real, genuine, beautiful Ukrainian ladies. Now you have the opportunity to video chat free 7 days a week with different, beautiful Ukrainian girls of all ages and walks of life. You get to ask all your deepest, burning questions about all things Ukraine culture, Ukraine women, and Ukraine current events. And if you come to enough of our live streams, you might just discover what makes us mysterious Ukrainian women tick. Okay, so we will see you live every day over at ukrainedating.tv.
I feel like clapping. So let's get started. So there won't be any personal information shared here as well. This is the personal information that you share should be with your accountability partners or among yourselves, of course, but it should stay there. I am not a psychologist. I don't pretend to be. We will be coaching you in your journey towards finding a beautiful Ukrainian wife. All topics today will be covered in much more detail in the upcoming training sessions. Okay. We will also be entertaining questions, comments, and concerns at the end of this presentation. But don't worry, we'll give you plenty of time. And my plan is to address all the comments. So the next thing is, I would like for all of you to get very clear about what it is you want. And what that means is, maybe, this is an invitation. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but this is a suggestion. And that is, get yourself a journal, not one you have to journal in every day and all that kind of stuff. But there's something special about writing things down on paper that will help you get clear about what it is you want. And when I say what it is you want, I'm talking about her in her, her mentally, her physically, and her spiritually. And as you start to do this, you define her attributes. You'll also be defining your attributes. In other words, you're going to start looking at yourself as well. And that's what we're about here. That's the goal that I'm hoping that you guys will be able to see, through talking to each other and conversations with your friends and family. People are always telling you, you don't listen enough, or you do listen too much, or why don't you talk more, stuff like that. You want to be able to look at that more carefully, because what that will do, like I said, is it starts to develop you. And as you start to develop, you'll start to attract the very lady that you have defined as far as her attributes and so forth. This will also lead to desires in other areas, the other areas of your life, that is. Because as you develop, it affects everything. It affects all of your relationships, especially the ones that are the most important to you. And you want to look at that carefully, and the way to do that is to write this stuff down. You may do it every day. But the most important part of that is to be consistent about it. You want to, when you get an idea or when you think of something, you want to be able to look at it and say, uh, I I need to do this. I need to change that. I want to find this. We do that already, but it's not connected. And as a coach, my job is to help you become more connected about and more efficient about how you basically run your life. At the uh, at the end of it, so to speak, you will be developing what I call an owner's manual to operate you. Um, nobody really gets born with an owner's manual and to do anything, to become, a person, to become a father, to become married, a husband, all that kind of stuff. We have to develop all that. So if it's better for you to have an efficient but fun way of developing yourself, then that's what we want to look at. That's what we're about here. And specifically, not so general, but more specifically, so that you have a chance to get away from, some of the cultural impediments that you have that will hold you back from having to being able to meet a Ukrainian lady, but also to keep her. I mean, that's really important, and especially if she wants to be with you. I talk to guys all over the different Western cultures, and believe it or not, they all say the same thing, more or less, and that is that in their cultures, including here in the United States, um, there's a lot of things that have been through our culture embedded in our minds and affecting our hearts regarding ourselves and how we relate to people in general, especially how we relate to women. So we're gonna look at those things as well. As you start to develop, um, what you want to change, what you feel you need to change, and so forth and so on. Um, we're going to set goals, um, and you don't have to really. It's not the setting of the goals is fluid. It's not going to be something like, okay, you got to set the goals and then that's got to stay exactly that way. And the reason for that is as you start to grow and develop and so forth, your goals may change. They're certainly going to modify. The end of it may change, may stay the same, but the way you get there is going to be modified. So you want to be open to change. Um, I know that's a big step because a lot of us, we're not really good about changes. I know I'm not real good about changes. So we will be using the SMART, which is an acronym, and I'll go into that more later, of course. The SMART method of not only setting the goals but reaching them, And at this point, and I'm going to say this a lot of times, I'm pretty sure. Uh, it's such a great idea to find yourself as soon as you can an accountability partner, basically a wingman. The Whenever you see a fighter plane, for the most part, you always see two or more. You never see a fighter plane by itself, and that's because the U.S. Air Force learned a long time ago that having a wingman flying with you is much more effective because you keep each other in sync. You keep each other accountable. And so if you, as a man, have decided you want to change some things and you have, um, you know, goals that you want to set and so forth and so on, which I'm sure you do, uh, having an accountability partner is everything. It's the best. It's the best way to keep you moving in that direction. So, so everybody's seen one of these tape measures, and everybody's used one of these. And the way to use one is to start with this part here, and you put that on a spot, and then you measure something. Well, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're going to start with here, and what we're going to call that reference point is our baseline. Baseline is something that are the facts of how your life is and the way you are. Not only your behavior, but your physical characteristics, the way you think or don't think, spiritually speaking, whether you're religious or not. If you're not religious, there's still things that you do that um, are sort of energy related. And so, if you want to look at it from that standpoint, a lot of what we're saying is going to be beneficial. Um, Also, as you um, as you go forward in this, we want to be able to measure progress, because it's easy to say, okay, I'm doing all these things, and I'm getting better, and so forth and so on. And all of us know that many times we've gone to the gym and we really thought we were, getting some advancement and making things work and putting a lot of effort into it. And as it turns out, it wasn't really that much progress. But there's really no way to tell unless you say, okay, this is how many sets of such and such I can do. This is how much weight I can push at the bench, and so forth and so on. This baseline is exactly what you want. Now, there are 4 areas in your life that make up this baseline, and that is mental, body, spiritual, and what I call business. And let me go through them just in a general sense. With your mind, of course, you want to keep your mind sharp. And the only way you can keep your mind sharp is to keep your body in sync with your mind, but also take good care of your body. So because the two operate together, and many times we don't, well, they should anyway. Sometimes mine doesn't, but anyway, sometimes we get a little bit out of balance. Maybe we spend way too much time working, or if you're a business owner, if you're a business owner, I can almost guarantee you're spending a lot of time. I'm a business owner myself, and I find myself out of balance with how much work I spend, or how much time I spend on my business. I'm sorry about my eyes going back and forth. I keep forgetting the camera's up here. So anyway, you're going to want to look at this is another part that'll work well for the journal, and maybe give 1 page just for your mind and 1 page for your body, and so forth. So in your mind, you're going to want to write down, first of all, weaknesses and strengths. And you're going to want to write down in each area, whether it's maybe your memory is a little bit of a weakness, or, maybe your memory is actually a strength. But the idea is you're putting where they're at on a piece of paper, and we're starting that reference point. So once again, that's the baseline. The next area is the body. And again, what's your weaknesses and what's your strengths? And in there, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can take pictures of yourself. If you have decided you want to set a goal of, say, 10% body fat or something like that, or you want to tone up, or you want to build muscle, or whatever it is that you decide and you write down, that's where you want to put it. The same goes for mind as far as meditation. I believe meditation belongs in the mental area. However, if you want to put it in the spiritual area, that's fine too. The idea is to be consistent. You want to be consistently doing whatever it is you need to do to make changes in the areas that you want. Okay. Spiritually, again, it's more about, the energy of things. And believe me, ladies do understand energy. And if you're not sure about it, that's a weakness. For example, you want to put that in there, or a lot about energy, then you want to put it in the strength, of course. And the idea there is, again, to develop. And then finally is your business. business is going to be a lot easier because you can make goals like how much do you want to make, how much, just for a question to yourselves, how much do you want to make at the end of this year? And how are you going to set up the steps to get there? Whether you're employed or self-employed. Again, column for weaknesses, a column for strengths. And if you're employed, I'm sure your boss is going to give you plenty of of data. I know mine did a long time ago, and they have no problem whatsoever telling you what you're doing wrong, as all of you, I'm sure, have experienced. The good part about this baseline also is that you get to see progress, and one of the most motivating areas of your life is progress. As you start to see progress, you start to get encouraged, and as you get encouraged, you get motivated. It's just natural. So there's going to be times when, and this is when your why is going to be very, very important. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this, and the statement accordingly. You want to have that because there will be times when you just want to quit doing things. Maybe you don't want to work out that day, or you just want to have a donut, for crying out loud, even though you're trying to back off. And by the way, I'm not endorsing any specific diet or anything like that. However, we will talk quite a bit about those areas and how your body works and so forth and so on. I really think you guys are going to enjoy this. It's very comprehensive, not to be taken with too complex and so forth. It's more going to be about covering all areas, because ultimately the baseline in the future, as things progress and as we measure progress, as we help each other and so forth and so on, what will happen is all 4 areas of your life will start to increase. And it's been proven. This is, by the way, this information is not, it's not secret. It's been done many, many times. It's being done now, and it'll be done in the future, what we're going into. And as comprehensive as it is not the full, complete program. That will be part 2, because what we'll do is we'll get basically a warm up, and we'll learn the exercises, just like if any of you were in a athletic team or whatever in high school, you had to learn the exercises, you had to do the workouts, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing that for the next 6 months to a year. We will be going the actual training sessions, if you will. We will be going every other week or twice a month. And eventually, I think you'll be looking forward to them. I think it'll be the kind of thing where once again, I'll go back to the progress thing. I hate to keep beating on it, but it's very, very important that you start getting progress as soon as possible. So the other thing we are planning to do, it's our true intention, is to develop a community here of men who will be able to converse with each other, whether it's through Zoom or personal calls and so forth. I'm not sure yet. Maybe you guys can give me an idea of what you would like to do. I mean, we have ideas such as in your city or whatever. If you have guys that are like-minded, they don't necessarily have to be searching. They can be people that you trust and are already having this sort of conversation with. When I say like-minded, I'm referring to people who are interested in, personal development, who are interested in relationships and so forth. For example, for me personally, each Sunday, sometimes we postpone, but for the most part, every Sunday, My best friend Carl from high school and his wife, the three of us, we get on a phone call together and we review, what happened last week, the good things and the bad things. And it is amazing what happens when at least three people get together and start talking, and get real and get raw. And the thing that happens is results, man. You see progress. It's not easy. Self-disclosure is, it's always going to be a little bit dangerous. It's always going to be quirky. But if you can find some people, or at least start developing a couple of friends that you can trust, it is one of the best ways to improve. And I certainly don't want to give you guys the impression that you're all a bunch of lumps of the log there, without any motivation or anything like that. We're more or less fine tuning. I know that most of you have done what we're looking at, like I said, in some way or another in your businesses, in your life, and with your relationships. We're just going to hone those skills and maybe even identify them as skills. So when I have my conversations, each Sunday, I can ask them, "Hey, give me an idea of what I did wrong here, or what do you think I should do?" And I trust them fully on what their response is. And believe me, I've known Carl since high school, so he can't get away with anything, and I can't get away with anything with him. And that's a beautiful thing. If you're fortunate enough to find someone that you can build that with, I highly encourage you to do that. And when I say encourage you, I mean, like, think about it today after this call, after this stream. Just take a moment and maybe write a few names down. Take a little action. Um, Start your journal, that sort of thing. Again, the accountability partner is going to be very, very important, and you know what? It's not just for like your quest to find a Ukrainian lady. It will be effective in all areas of your life as far as relationships are concerned, for sure. Both relationships with, everybody as close as your best friends and family, to new relationships, or relationships that have been around for a long time that might be a little stale, or a little, not as healthy as you want. You can start affecting those changes, and that's a beautiful thing. So my commitment to you is to provide to you my best regarding coaching in, in what I'm talking about today, and what I will talk about next week as we go into the next taster. I hope that it gets you interested in this. Hope it motivates you. Um, this will be group, coaching, and at some point, I'm going to work out some way to be able to coach maybe three or four guys, or maybe a half a dozen guys at a time. I don't know what that is yet. And again, maybe there would be some way that you guys could help me out with that, because I respond to feedback. I like all the feedback you can give me. And that could be in emails. Um, that could be anything, anything, any kind of what's the word? Any kind of communication that you feel is appropriate for this coaching, this method, this way. If it, Especially if you feel it's something that all the guys can benefit from, that's even more important. Because we all have, we're all different. We all have our ways. We all have our ideas, and so forth and so on. And I think it's good to keep the ones that are working for you. It's good to keep your strengths. It's good to keep all of the things that actually make your life better for you. At the same time, there are, I'm sure, for all of us, a number of areas that could be improved. And again, as I said earlier, men sharpen men, and it's just how community works. I heard a really unfortunate statistic, and that is that 75% of all the suicides committed on this earth are committed by men. And as you look into it, it's almost guaranteed you're going to find that somewhere along the line, that person, that man, isolated himself or became isolated in some form. And that started him on a path of self-destruction. What we're doing here is starting on a path of self-instruction. We want you guys to reach deep, find the things that are in you that will make you better, that you know are there, and develop with the goal in mind of having a wonderful, full, balanced, and healthy relationship with your lady, with your queen. So that's the presentation for today, for the most part. I'm more than happy to entertain comments or questions. And at this point, I'm turning it over to you guys. Just give me something to talk about. In the meantime, I might. Oh, okay. There's got to be some questions here. Is there anybody have at least one question or a comment? Deanna, are you catching any comments, or am I missing them here? Or hello, Deanna? Anybody there? Anybody out there at all? Otherwise, I had to sit here and talk. There we go. Edward Solomon. Self-evaluation is good if you can really look at yourself subjectively. It is very difficult to do. Edward, thank you very much for that comment. It is very difficult to do, which is, again, one of the reasons why you want to find an accountability a partner who you can be accountable to, a wingman. It's important. It's very important. It's scary, to do self-evaluation. I don't think it's impossible. I see people doing it all the time. I've done a lot of it myself. I know Joe has done a lot of it himself. I think that people do it maybe even accidentally, but they don't necessarily do it in a guided way. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So any other questions or comments? Next. There we go. Next. Come on, guys. I can't be here by myself talking. There's got to be guys out there. You guys have to have something, some question. I wasn't that good at a presenter, so you got to say, hey, you should have done this, or there we go. Mark Garforth. Thank you, Mark. And you say hello. That's good. I appreciate that. Hello back to you. Where are you from, Mark? Where are you out of? How did you like this presentation? How about that? Has this been helpful to you? Yes, this is live, Gregory. And thank you for asking. Makes it really tough for me because, I was thinking there was going to be more questions. So where are you hailing from, Gregory? Oh, from the UK. Wow. Thank you very much for turning in, Mark. I appreciate that. This is a good thing. What do you guys think of the presentation so far? And would this be, does this get your interest going towards the beginning of, or the kickoff for Lions Den, the mastermind group? Anybody? Wow. Okay. Somebody say where they're from. How about that? Do we have anybody here from New Zealand? Do we have anybody from Australia? Do we have anyone from Canada, United States? Nobody wants to show up? We can do it. There we go. Okay, Gregory, tell me what you think of this so far. What did you like and what did you dislike, if you don't mind? Um, I see. Deanna, can you hear me? Okay. So, Mark from the UK, what did you think of this? Did you like what, and what did you not like? How about that? Because I want to make this the best possible. Part of that means listening to you guys, because I don't want to do all the talking. I would like for you to be feeling easy about participating, and as you participate, I get to produce a better product for you. It goes both ways, and that's important to me because I don't want this to be something you feel you have to do, or oh boy, I have to tune in again because I'm trying to do this or that. I would much rather have you guys really excited about all of our sessions. Um, I'm not much as far as presentation. I'm not, one on one when I talk, I'm funnier, all that kind of stuff. This is a bit of a challenge for me. So, if you would, um, please, give us some comments as far as the ideas that I presented here. Maybe, like I said, something you would like to see it added to this. What would you like to see as far as in the future? What are you looking for? What do you think would make things better? Mike Rangel. I hope I said that right. Mike Rangel. Okay. How about some gals ready to get married today? Bring them on. Okay. Um, you mean so you guys can talk to them? Because if you would like to talk to some of the Ukrainian ladies, then I recommend you go to the Ukraine Dating Live channel on YouTube. That's actually what that's for. Yeah, there we go. Because I don't want to step into Ukraine Dating Live's area. I would much rather you guys go to that channel to bring some of the ladies that are ready to get married. But that's a great comment. I really appreciate that. And here I go. As soon as you give me a comment, I shoot it down. I don't mean it that way. If everyone wants to have, maybe on one of the episodes, what I'll do is I'll announce, before the stream, a particular lady that's going to come on and just talk, and she can talk about what she wants in a man. We could do that. And then Mark Garforth, excuse me. I've only just arrived, so I missed the presentation. Oh, sorry about that. Well, it'll be on. It's recorded, and you'll get a chance to see it, Mark. The other thing is, I tuned in out of interest. Why only 1% succeed? I'm dating a Ukrainian girl. Congratulations. How's that going for you? I hope well. I forgot about that. That's interesting. So come on, guys. We got to have some more comments here, or questions. Right now, Gregory says, right now, I just got into Florida. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Congratulations. Do you like it there? I hope. What did you think, Gregory, of the presentation, or did you get a chance to see it? Let's see. Well, I don't have some other topics here. Paul Schmitz, thank you, sir. Appreciate your comment. If only 1% succeed dating in Ukraine, then I guess I'm a 1%er. Interesting. That 1% succession or six, that 1% is because they're not getting, good coaching or direction. I don't think it's anything wrong with you, Paul. I think it's more about learning that, well, first of all, where are you from, Paul? So we know, what culture. And as I said earlier, a lot of the reasons guys have trouble, dating Ukrainian women is because our cultures have put impediments in our minds and hearts and our way of being, and that doesn't work for them. They don't. They're not necessarily rejecting you. They're rejecting the ideas or the behavior, and so that's probably what you're, encountering. And that's why we've decided to put this Lion's Den together. We decided to put the Lion's Den together so that men will have a much better chance of dating Ukrainian ladies, because they're, like I said, the Ukrainian ladies are not used to our culture. They're not used to the way that men are treated in our cultures. They don't see that stuff, and so it doesn't make sense to them. And so they're trying to have a relationship with you. They're trying to talk to you and so forth. And you're presenting yourself from that perspective, and it doesn't work for them. And we don't want for you guys to be only 1%. We want 100% with you guys, and that's our commitment. This is our intention, and that's what we are doing. And by the way, the advertisement for this might have been only 1%, but this is the Lion's Den. This is a taster for the Lion's Den, and meaning that we will be kicking off the actual Lion's Den on the 29th of this month, and will be our first session where we actually go into detail. And I encourage you to be there. Find some, like I said before, find some accountability partners, and they're welcome to show too. They're welcome to watch it. We prefer that it be for Match Guaranty clients and so forth, or people that are looking to become Match Guaranty clients. But it doesn't mean it's only for that. So I would love to have comments from those people as well. And Paul, again, all right. I'm happily married to a wonderful woman from Odessa since 2020. Okay, Paul, thank you for that piece of information, because I'm hoping you'll join our community. And not because you're looking for a Ukrainian lady, but you have information that would really help our guys. And that might be something that you will enjoy. You might be able to develop some friendships here, because you know what it's like to go through it. And in fact, I may even want to interview you, if that's okay. And if you think that's a good idea, Paul, you just do me a favor and send an email and let us know if that's something that would be interesting to you. Because the best thing that can happen here is for you guys to start talking to each other. That's really the main goal, is to get this community going. And this is a beautiful example. Right now, Match Guaranty is giving 95% off the ticket price of $75 for the first 17 guys. That's a great deal, So 17 of you out there, please sign up and you'll get a 95% discount. That's incredible. I highly recommend that, because we're going to have some fun here. I like to have fun while I'm training. I like to have fun while I'm learning. And so I like you guys to have fun while you're learning. Some of it's not going to be, it's going to be, a little bit different, a little bit challenging. Like we said earlier, self-disclosure and self-discovery and disclosure can be dangerous. It can be scary. So join us, try it out. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I guarantee it. The program we put together is amazing. I think I know you're going to benefit, and I know you're going to like it. And again, I hope that you have fun with it. Any other questions, guys? We have any comments or more questions? Come on. And Paul, by the way, ask your wife if she would mind you doing this, because I don't want her to get the wrong impression. This would be more for helping the guys on here. I'd love to talk to you, by the way, because what you have encountered and what you have experienced is really important to these guys, to all of us, actually. And Mark is back again. I do think a lot of Western men expect the lady to understand Western culture, when in my opinion, it should be the other way around. The man should learn about the Slavic culture. I totally agree. I don't know that it's so much the other way around. I think it's good for both to learn each other's culture. However, there is no doubt that the more you learn about the Slavic culture, guaranteed, the more you're going to like it. I'm not only a coach, I'm a client. And the more that I learn about the Slavic culture, the more I realize how close we are. And very, very similar. There's a lot of similarities, different approaches, but a lot of similarities. And I would say their core values are very much on par with what we have. And in some places, I think it's even better. Their focus on the quality of life is really important. To me, it's refreshing. We don't always have that here in the United States. We tend to focus more on cost, and how much more can I get from all these different areas and so forth. So yeah, that's a good comment though, Mark. I agree with you. And it's that I think part of that again is an impediment, and we have a tendency in our Western cultures to sort of be culture centric, to where we think our culture is the best way to go and so forth and so on. And in some areas that can be the case. However, it should not blind you from their culture and some of the areas that make their life perspective better, and therefore their life, because it can apply to you as well. So I think a sharing of each other's cultures. I mean, you have the opportunity to take the best of the Ukrainian culture and blend it with the best of the Western culture, and come up with a hybrid that works. I believe would work better than just sticking with one or the other, especially if it gives you a chance to, work with your partner and develop your relationship even more. Anything you can do to develop the relationship you have with your lady, it improves all other relationships. If you keep your relationship with her first and foremost, and she the same, all the other relationships, including children, the relationship you have with children, whether they're your children or hers or both, improves as well. It's just how it works. It's a natural process to start with your partner and then work out from there. And we will be talking about that as well. That'll be further on down the line or the time, as we get into more and more, actually more detail about what we're talking about here. Like I said earlier, there's a lot going on. There's a lot in this particular program. So, you're a client as well. Cool. Welcome. How do you like everything so far on this presentation? I'm hoping that you're getting something out of this, and all you other guys, keep going. Keep giving me some information. There we go. Mark says, I love the Slavic culture. I do have a very distant a very distant Ukrainian Russian heritage myself. Oh, very interesting. Well, that's awesome. I am. I'm really happy for you. I think that's a big plus. It's just more natural for you, in my mind. The blending of cultures is happening all over the world, you know, uh, and it's a beautiful thing in that you can come up with, like I said, a hybrid of something that would enrich in your life. Um, it doesn't mean you have to stop your culture. It just means, like I said, that you want to take the best of both worlds and, you know, put them into something that's a beautiful hybrid, something that is, well, addresses all areas of your life again, all four areas that we talked about, um, and will make that work more for you as well. So I can't think of anything right now as far, well, I guess the emphasis on that I've noticed, this is what I've noticed, the emphasis on the Ukrainian lady respecting her man is way more than we get in certainly here in the United States. And again, not to compare or say, you know, one is better than the other or be judgmental. That's not what we're talking about here. I'm bringing this up to see if that's something that's important to you. If certainly respect from his lady is what a man needs. I'm not saying that you don't need it, or are we saying, you know, do you need it? Yes, we do. In some cases, men need respect even more than love sometimes in some areas. And I think it's a beautiful thing and an incredible thing that with the Ukrainian ladies and certainly the Slavic culture, it comes naturally to them to respect their men. It's ingrained in them. It's just part of how they operate. And it's very refreshing, and at the same time, it's kind of intimidating because as Western cultured men, we don't always know how to handle that. We're kind of, you know, taken back because we're not used to it, you know, for the most part. We're not used to it being sincere, that's for sure. I mean, it's a rare occasion indeed that I see someone who is sincere, a lady who is sincerely respectful of her man. And I think that part of that is just the general degradation of masculinity in the Western cultures. Again, I've spoken with many guys over all different cultures and countries, and they all kind of say the same thing, you know. And it's all, I believe it's, you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but what I do believe is that it is a general idea that has been induced into these cultures, our Western cultures, to degrade masculinity. That's certainly where the term toxic masculinity came from. It's a made up term. There's nothing to it. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's just masculinity. And anyone who's been rescued by a fireman or saved by a police officer will understand exactly what masculinity can be. Paul, again, I appreciate that, Paul. Perseverance is, yes, it is. Perseverance is definitely the key to success. Perseverance also brings consistency, and it is the little changes that you consistently make day after day. It's, you know, it's the drudgery of development, but the fruit, as you say, Paul, is success. However you want to define that, and you define what success is. One of my definitions for success is continuous development, expansion of my character, expansion of my sphere of influence, increasing the quality of my relationships and the healthiness of my relationships. But we'll go through that as well. And then one of these days, I'm going to look into the camera and stay looking into the camera. Other questions or comments, feel free. Again, somebody tell me whether they felt that this was beneficial or not. So, and Paul again, good. I didn't meet my wife until my 7th trip to Ukraine. Wow, that's amazing. But I'm so glad you were able to find somebody. She's probably happy she's not in Odessa anymore, or is she? Do you guys go to back to Odessa to visit? Let me ask you that question. Also, was there anything here I said that was confusing to you, or maybe didn't make sense, or something like that? I'd also like to know and entertain those questions and comments, because again, for me, it's so important to improve all the time. Mark says, showing understanding and not being demanding of your lady. That's a good. God, you guys, you got it on the nose here. You're hitting the marks. These are the kinds of ideals and ideas that are going to help you, like I said earlier, not only find a lady but keep her, which is, to me, is very important. When I find my lady, I want to be with her the rest of my life, and I want it to increase. I want it to, be, healthy in all the areas, and mutually bonding, and also mutually sharing and growing. And I know it'll happen because I'm already doing it with my friends. I can see that model work. I can see the progress it's making because I measured. And I know I can duplicate that process with my lady, and even more than what I do, of course, with my best friend and his wife. And by the way, they're anxious for me to bring a lady to the table as well. So we'll see how that goes. Um, well, I it's been almost an hour. We're trying very hard to keep everything to an hour. I don't believe our sessions or our training sessions are going to go past an hour. So don't get nervous about them being too long. And I, as I said before, I really encourage participation, such as Paul Schmidt's here. Another comment: guys need to have realistic expectations regarding age gap. Man, you said a mouthful there. I think that guys need to have realistic expectations in general for all things. And what that speaks to, as men, it's easy for us to kid ourselves. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it as a coach. We lie to ourselves a lot too. And if we lie to ourselves, nothing gets built, nothing gets healthy, nothing gets improved. There's no progress. We have to stop lying to ourselves and look at things carefully. And we will definitely go through this and over this in the future. I don't want to scare you too much. It's not like we're going to have some ritual or something like that. It's going to be very positive. It'll be only for you, but there will be times when I don't know. Call it a workout. We're not going to have homework. We'll call it a workout, and the workout will be to write down all of the lies you're telling yourself, okay, or kid yourself, however you want to name it. Again, this is the coach talking. Just like in high school, some of the things the coach said and talked about, he wanted to, hug him, and some of the things you wanted to shoot him. So sometimes you're going to probably want to shoot me too. So yes, Paul, I agree. Guys need to have realistic expectations regarding age gap. And so, and again, in all other areas as well, you have to have realistic expectations about her intellect, about how your role and her role played together in your relationship. The quickest way to lose any relationship, for that matter, is to stop growing. I don't think that money problems are connected to so many divorces. The real problem that starts a divorce going, the seed to the divorce, is when one partner stops growing. And pretty soon you get so far apart, because the other one is going to naturally continue, that you don't really even know who you are. And so the relationship part also stops growing. It also stops. And at some point it can get so bad, as I'm sure some of you know who have been divorced. I know I learned that through my divorce, that you lose your way. You lose your way with yourself. You lose your way with friendships, with relationships, and so forth. So, all right, my good men, thank you so much for your time. Oh, George Wiley says, good show. Thank you. Wiley. I was getting a little nervous there. I thought maybe everybody had thrown rocks or something at the screen, or Nerf balls or whatever. So thank you. Appreciate that. That concludes this episode, if you will, or this teaser of the Lion's Den, our mastermind group. And again, go out there, take some action, write some things down, and start thinking, and have comments and questions and so forth for next week. We will tune in on the same time, same channel, of course, and all that. Again, 95% off ticket price of $75 for the first 17 guys. Really good deal. And it may not seem like it right now, but I promise you, you will like and you will get what you need out of this. That is my commitment. So once again, thank you, and have a great day.
Do you want a high-value, beautiful traditional woman worthy of your love to create your family? Then listen up. Time is our enemy, and complacency breeds failure. So you must get off Tinder, man, and stop dating those feminazis. You see, to get the life you desire and deserve, you've got to wise up and figure this shit out now, or your dreams, they will simply pass you by. First, you need to know that you've been lied to. That's right, despite what all your American dating experience has shown you, I promise you, high-value traditional women are not extinct. You'll see that with your own eyes when you join today. When you join the Brotherhood now, we're practically handing you your success on a silver platter. You'll discover the who, what, where, and how that you never imagined possible for yourself. Would you agree that for you to conquer what's been impossible for you thus far in life, well, you need some help, some guidance, and most importantly, to all success, mentorship. Well, that's all here for the taking when you join our Brotherhood now. You choose the membership level with the game-changing perks you need most to shortcut your success, saving your money, and more importantly, saving your time. Now, I'm going to ask you for a little favor here. You see, frankly, the problem we've had is those fucking trolls and dick pickers freaking out our live streaming ladies. So we've unfortunately had to make our live chat for members only. So do us both a favor and join up right now. It's less than a bowl of borscht, yet it will help you in spades. Now I'll turn it over to Joseph Ricards to highlight some of the kick-ass perks of each of the 4 different membership levels.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, level 1, Truth Seekers, is a measly $4 a month. Gets you unlimited live chats and a free lady cam share, so you can ask all your burning questions face to face with our genuine Ukrainian beauties. Level 2, True Believers, gives you 3 free lady cam shares, and at each higher level membership you get more and more lady cam shares, with unlimited at level 4. Level 3, Borscht Brothers, gives you a shit ton of goodies. You'll get exclusive access to our Brotherhood closed community, free membership to our $75 a month men's group, Lion's Den, where iron sharpens iron. Level 4, Braveheart Brotherhood, at only $100, yet just the bonus perks alone are worth $510. Check it out. You get all the perks from the first 3 levels, plus you get our coveted scam check service. Listen, man, if you are one of these poor bastards paying per letter to communicate with women from Eastern Europe during our age of free communication apps, guys, you need to wake the fuck up and stop simping, because you know you're only being scammed. And after our scam check, you'll finally understand what's really going on. So once and for all, you'll be able to put your mind at ease. Trust me, whether you join at $4 or $100, this is a complete no-brainer. So go ahead, click the join button now and join our brotherhood. Remember, at any level you choose, you can get unlimited live chats every single day and live cam shares with our beauties.